What's up, folks? It's your boy Kenny. I am about to start off a shift and join my fiido L3, whatever you want to call it. I got a message from someone today asking me if it makes a difference if the L2, since the L2 has the shocks and the L3 doesn't have the shocks. And my response to him was, it really doesn't make any difference, really. That was my biggest fear in getting the L3. That was actually my biggest fear in getting the L3. I hesitated for a while. I wanted a bike because, like, my life is really simple. I don't like stress. I want to, ride a bike without worrying about. I want to ride an e-bike without worrying about the battery is going to run out and you got to manage the battery, because that's one of the biggest drawbacks when you want to purchase an e-bike, especially when you're doing deliveries and you maybe want to work like a 4-hour shift. Some people like the idea of buying 2 batteries, which I think is stressful. For a minimalist type of guy, you look for the most efficient minimalist way to get your point across, to do what you want to do. So that's why I had to when I started having problems with my fiido L2, not any electrical problems, so which is a win-win for the company and for all those who want to buy the bike. I had a problem, I said this in one of my videos, I had a problem with the front fork. I had a problem with the front fork, and just when I paid for the front fork from the company. I waited for a week. They said it's been shipped. Then they sent me an email saying, unfortunately, the L2s are not made anymore. So they gave me back my refund. They don't have any front fork. They don't have any parts for the L2. That's how good, and that's how this bike sold out really, sells really quickly because of all the features. So when they stopped selling the L2, I was looking all over the place. I wanted to buy another L2 just so I could have that problem, so I could fix that problem. But there was no L2 anywhere else to be found. Then I was like, what kind of bike do I buy? Do I buy the Rap Power bike? That's a nice and sturdy bike. But then I'm gonna have to deal with the issue of buying 2 batteries for that, and it's pretty big. Since I move around a lot, it's gonna be heavy to carry. So it was, I had to, go through a lot. I had to deal with a lot, of thinking. Then as I was just searching, lo and behold, I just find, a bike that looks like the L2, but with edge. The bar right there had like edges instead of the roundedness the L2 had. I was like, wow. And I looked at the back too. The back had, it doesn't have the seat. And it looks a little smaller. And it says 23AH. What could possibly, you can't go wrong with that. 23AH. And I was like, okay, cool. But there is no, shocks in the front and no shocks in the back. So I felt like this is going to be an issue. So I thought about it for a whole week. I wanted to place the order, and they said it hadn't arrived in the States. I got mine really fast, just to get that out there. I got mine really, really fast. So I contemplated for a while. Then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to do away with the front fork, with the shocks. I mean, this is gonna be a brand new bike. And if I have any issues with front fork, I mean, this bike is just brand new and it's in production and selling real fast. So they should be able to, sell me a part, from the company. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for this. I paid, I got a really good discount. I paid like $800 and something. But the actual price of the bike is $999. But I don't know what the circumstances were. I paid like $800 and something, and in like about a week or so, I got the bike. In about a week or less than a week, I got the bike in about less than a week, which was really cool, So I was like, you know what? Let me test it out. And so far, it's been good. Yesterday, I drove about 5 hours. 5 hours in total. And when I got back home after my shift, I made about $150. When I got back home after my shift, I had 4 bars left. So that's to show you how much power this bike carries. This is exactly the type of bike I want to ride. I don't want to have to carry a big bike, I want something small, something portable that packs a punch and has a huge battery. If you want to live the minimalist lifestyle, this is one of the bikes you want to consider. It's really, really rugged. It's really, really sturdy. They went straight to the point. They removed extra stuff that's not needed. Just like that back seat. There's really no point for the back seat because for the most part, most people are not going to be carrying anyone behind on this bike, except maybe you're in Asia, where the people there are really kind of small, so you can carry two Asian people. You can ride and carry someone behind you. But for the most part, I don't think anybody will be carrying any passenger on this bike. So that's why they got rid of the back seat. Another feature that they got rid of that I'm not exactly happy about, but I'm not angry about that either, because even on the L2, it took me a while, about 6 or 7 months before I found out that they had that feature on the L2. It's the place where you can charge your phone. It's right there on the handlebar, just beneath the LCD screen, or just right around the place where the horn is for the bike. I could not believe it. I had that bike for about 7 months and I didn't even know they had that feature. I just saw it one day and I tried it and my battery was down and it actually worked. You can charge your phone because the battery is so big. I think the charging is not really fast though. The charging is not that fast like that, but I mean, if you're in a desperate situation where you really need power, then you definitely want to use that. So I wanted to make another video because someone asked me a question about the front shocks and the versus no shocks, the shocks in the front of and the back of the L2 versus the L3, no shocks at all. But believe me, you don't feel a thing. It feels really, really comfortable. It's like you gliding. It's like you floating. I love this bike so much. I will, however, get, because it's an e-bike and because I'm in San Francisco, there's a lot of hills in San Francisco, so I end up losing power on the brakes really fast after like a week, 2 weeks, or sometimes 3 weeks, but because this is San Francisco. But if you're in a place with much more level ground, I don't think you're going to encounter that problem at all. So, if you want to get this bike, do not hesitate. It's a really great bike. And it's just like I continue where I left off at. I left off with the L2. And, the same feeling with the L2. It climbs the hills just the same exact way as the L2 does. All those steep hills. It has 3 pedal assist levels. The pedal assist level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 for hills that are not so steep. Level 2 for hills that are, just a notch up with that. Level 3 can climb. Level 2 and 3 can climb incredibly steep hills. I could not believe it. Because one of my problems, the drawbacks of having an e-bike, I wanted an e-bike that could climb hills. But I was concerned, with this. I had a lot of confidence in the 500 watt motor e-bike and up. The first e-bike I got was 500 watts motor and up. The second one, the same thing. The third one, the same thing. But I all through that time, I kept seeing e-bikes that had 350 watt motor. But I did not want to get those simply because I did not want a situation where I'm going to get a bike and I would not be able to climb hills. But this proved me wrong simply because of the 48 power battery or something like that, 48 volt battery, and the pedal assist levels and the huge battery. So even though you increase it to pedal assist level 2 or 3 to climb the extremely steep hills, trust me, it's like a glide. You're not really like suffering. The motor and the 48 volt battery does a really good job to get you up there nice and sleek and tight. I mean, I love the experience so much. Yeah, so it's a win-win for this bike. I'm loving the experience. I hope I don't have any type of electric level. I'm really confident I'm gonna have this bike for a while. I probably might get another color. I think they have like an orange on, maybe like a green too. I think I might get another color just to balance this one out. Maybe I might be going to LA, who knows, But I might get another color just to balance this one out so you don't use this one so much. But that was my biggest fear with the L2. When I got the L2, I had to use it like every day, every time I work. It was like my other foot. And I kept being afraid that, hey, maybe this bike might just burn out quickly because I use it every day. But I use this so much, and sometimes I'll think, oh, this bike isn't working, and lo and behold, it's actually working. It's like, I'm like, wow, this bike is really sturdy, and I still have it at home right now as we speak. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I definitely can't ride it because of that front fork problem. Even when I took it to the bike shop to get it fixed, no one could fix it, and the only option was to get the part from the company. But the company could not sell me the part because they're no longer in production. The L2. So I had to use that front fork until I was able to, gather some more cash, and to purchase another bike, which is this one. But I used that front fork with the problem with the L2. I used it for about 2 months, and I didn't have any problem. That's why people were telling me, oh, it's gonna break off. You're gonna have